Hey everybody, welcome to another video in which I'm just talking to you with my face, my beautiful face. I've got one eyebrow. I think it actually is only one eyebrow. It does have a little bit of fluff that connects, so I am a monobrow. In this video, I wanted to talk to you all about something specific to Assassin's Creed, which is, of course, your good old retcons. Retcons, they hurt to think about, to be honest, and unfortunately for Assassin's Creed it has been subjected to quite a few of them. So in this video I'm going to talk about why I think retcons are unhealthy for the overall lore of the entire franchise. First of all, I should try to explain what a retcon is. So a retcon is essentially a piece of new information that imposes a different interpretation on previously described events, usually in fiction. This is usually done to cover up inconsistencies and plot holes. And if the retcon is incredibly subtle and doesn't actually undermine what was previously known in the lore, it can work. Or if the lore is structured in a way that makes it like actual history, so we only know interpretations in lore, then that might work as well. But with Assassin's Creed, we know things as they happened. Whereas in franchises like the Elder Scrolls, retcons technically aren't retcons because we don't actually know anything properly concrete about the lore, but instead what we know are little bits of information that's been passed down through history in the lore of the game, and basically what we know is historical interpretation as opposed to how things happened. But with Assassin's Creed it's a bit more towards just how things happened, so there's a little bit less leeway for these retcons to fit, basically. But enter Aymar Azasia, the head of content on Assassin's Creed. So as you can imagine, for a lot of people, whatever he says about the franchise's lore goes. He is the person who's in control of all of that. So when he was tweeting about somebody talking about Amunet and Origins, he was basically saying that might not be what happened. Basically going back on what was said in Assassin's Creed 2 about how Amunet killed Cleopatra with the snake. Now, considering we got this information from a tomb in Assassin's Creed 2, the vault below Monteriggioni, where everything's put on plaques and things, I'd assume that whatever's said there is probably what happened. And he was saying that that was romanticized and things like that. So essentially what he's doing is he's applying an external retcon, so it's technically not official, but because he is the head of content, to a lot of people that is technically official. And what he's saying is this might not be what happened and it might have happened differently, basically saying you probably won't see that event happen. You'll probably see something that doesn't add up to that at all, and you'll be left with a massive plot hole, at least in the worst case scenario. But what I do know is that this isn't the first time that somebody's been talking about something in Assassin's Creed lore and Origins or whatever, and Aymar Azasia has basically come out and said something incredibly cryptic that could be taken as that's not canon. Surely, considering how the lore is structured in the franchise, it's the head of content's job to make sure that nothing really contradicts anything that's already been said, or at least doesn't contradict it in a large way in which some of these retcons have. Now, I have nothing against Aymar Azasia, but I'm not the biggest fan of how he's conducted maintaining the lore of the franchise, applying different interpretations, saying things that could be taken as something that happened and is canon isn't. It does bother me a little bit. An example of a retcon that actually bothered me, perhaps more than it should, or perhaps more than some other people, is the one regarding Lucy Stillman. So, in the ending of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, here's your spoiler warning, you have 5 seconds to click off the video and all of that marvellous stuff, you know. So, now that that warning's out of the way, basically, in the ending of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Lucy's killed by Desmond by force. When Desmond touched the Apple of Eden, he is basically controlled and it makes him kill Lucy. So in a DLC for Assassin's Creed Revelations, they introduced the idea that Lucy was a Templar, and then in Assassin's Creed 3, Desmond Miles said there was no force there, yet in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood there clearly was, because you couldn't do anything else. And there was no explanation prior to Lucy's death that told us why this was happening. It was all just incredibly random. And the truth is, they just wanted to kill off Lucy's character and come up with an explanation later. I mean, I personally was quite satisfied with it being the Apple just being unpredictable and the first civilization controlling Desmond to kill Lucy for no reason other than the fact that it can. That would have been fine. You know, just leave it at that. Why not? In fact, it wouldn't have been, but it would have probably been a bit more sensible than Lucy being a Templar all of a sudden without any hint to it beforehand. I wouldn't say any of the retcons have been too major yet, but that's where I'm hoping that they never get to that point because, let's be honest, the little ones are irritating sometimes, other times they're so minimal that you wouldn't really care less anyway. So as long as they keep it to that and minimal and in the minor things, I'm not too fussed. But my main concern is, considering that Assassin's Creed Origins is set in ancient Egypt and we know things about Amunet and things like that, we could see something that encompasses events that are known to have happened in a certain way, but in the game they happen completely differently, and all of a sudden something is wrong even though everything beforehand hinted at it being right. These are the types of things that I'm worried about when it comes to Origins especially, so I don't really fancy seeing any of these big boy retcons everywhere all the time, especially not with Amunet and Cleopatra. I feel as if Amunet needs to at least have Cleopatra bitten by Amunet's big boy snake. As long as that happens, I don't see how it's a retcon if anything else happens. So, you know, as long as that's fine, I'm sure it's all fine. But like I said, it can be annoying when there's somebody going about with control over the franchise and the lore and all that, saying that things that we know as canon have either been romanticized, exaggerated, or are just outright wrong. But, you know, I suppose come the end of the day, he is the head of content. He loves the franchise just like any of the rest of us. He knows what he's doing. So, I mean, on that account, I mean, I can good luck to him. Good luck to Amar Zazia. Stop retconning things, please. Stop it. Stop it. I've got nothing against Ubisoft or Amar Zazia for that matter. They can conduct making Assassin's Creed and addressing Assassin's Creed's lore in whatever way they want. I have no horse in this race, but I and a lot of other Assassin's Creed fans would appreciate if they didn't etch away at what we already know in lore and try to make it all work, as opposed to retconning things to suit them if they want to change things, because come on, that can get really annoying. So really, my biggest and only proper concern for Assassin's Creed Origins at this point is that certain things might not match up with what we already know in lore. So, I mean, fingers crossed that this is just me being a little bit on the paranoid side. And I mean, I'm pretty sure everything will be fine, but that's my biggest worry. I'm not even that worried about it, to be fair. All the retcons have been quite small, but then again, you've got to remember that somehow Bayek is the founder of the Assassin Brotherhood, yet the Persian Brotherhood was around a few hundred years before that and things like that, which makes me worry a little bit. And then apparently the first Hidden Blade is in Origins as well, so it's either Darius' Hidden Blade or it's Darius didn't exist in the way that we thought he did after all. But yeah, that's basically it as far as my proper concern for Origins goes. As long as they don't retcon things that are too big, like the first use of the Hidden Blade, the Brotherhood is founded before Bayek in a way. Bayek might be credited as the founder of it in some way, but I don't understand that too much, considering that we have good old Darius back there and the Persian Brotherhood and whatever that existed before Bayek. So I want to know how that works, and hopefully they find a way to make it fit so that Bayek is the founder of the Brotherhood, as they're saying, but that doesn't mean that an assassin brotherhood of some sort didn't exist beforehand. What I think it will be is Bayek, or what I hope it will be, is Bayek founds the tenets which the assassins live by, the creed basically, and the Brotherhood already exists. So when they say the founder of the Brotherhood, they mean founder of the Creed. That's what I'm hoping, because then that way at least there won't be a retcon, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure they'll find a way to make it work. I know they've addressed this to say that they haven't forgotten about assassins before Bayek and things like that. So I'm just really hopeful that we don't get a massive retcon to explain it, because that doesn't explain as much as just confuse and annoy. So here's hoping that the Assassin's Creed teams and things and Amar Azaziah have it all in hand, because I know that they won't intentionally harm the franchise or the lore by retconning things that are too massive and anything like that. So I do feel a little bit optimistic, but it is my massive concern at the moment. I could ramble on for more time about how I think retcons are bad, but by this point you get the point. You know what I'm trying to say. Basically, they have to make it work as opposed to work around it and forget about the thing that they're working around, because that doesn't help anybody. But thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments section. Please do make note that this isn't me hating on how the Assassin's Creed lore masters conduct their work. I have respect for how they do it. I'm just giving my opinion, and I hope that's fine with everybody. It better be. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share, comment, and all those things, and I'll see you all very soon with another video at some point.